Kita akare, ant na jape, One of the most important words of Rama Institute for Applied Yogic Science and Technology is applied. We know that this works, and one of the most beautiful things about Rama Business School over these past years is thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses all over the world have been launched, and I meet people who say, I created my business from watching Rama TV and doing Rama Business School. One of the most Good morning. Glad to be here with you. So welcome to the 10 Laws of Success. I want to do some study with you and have a different sort of an experience with you. And so I'll explain to you how these days are going to go. And some of you are watching this live on Rama TV. Some of you are on the Zoom with me. And so you can kind of choose your own adventure with that. But the reason why I'm doing the Zoom is because I am going to be working with at least one person live after the kind of more formal Kriya and meditation. I'll be working with one person, maybe more if we have time, live on the Zoom, kind of doing what I do in Rama Business School and in the Visionaries Room, where we look a little bit at what's happening and what isn't happening, and how to apply some yogic principles and some different perspectives to it. So I love doing this. It's really fun in terms of being able to work with you. And if you're interested in that, there'll be a point at which I ask, throw your specific problem or issue that you'd like to kind of unpack. Everything's related to everything. So all of these principles run through all of our personal and professional life. So that's, I love to kind of unpack that as well, because it's a micro to macrocosm. Okay, so that's a little bit of the unusual format that we're going to work with in these next 5 days. These 10 laws of success they're kind of esoteric. So we'll unpack them a little bit, and then I'm going to join them with the 10 laws of prosperity, which are a little less esoteric, but definitely kind of are sisters to this success. And success is a very interesting thing, because it's many people spend lifetimes in a reaction to their own greatness, and this is the whole kind of theme of many of the samskaras and the karmas and the things that we work with over and over and over again. We're in a reaction to our own creativity, our own greatness, our own power, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of these technologies are basically unpacking and restructuring, reorganizing, repatterning those patterns so that you can enjoy and live in a powerful and successful way. But success is something that once you have some version of it, then the system gets kind of numb or gets bored, as it were. And then this is what's so amazing about human beings. You have to do more. You have to create more. You have to open up more, else you get stagnant. So it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. And this is a great definition of success, but ultimately you have to define it for yourself. What is to judge it, gauge it. The gauge of success is your satisfaction. And what is the tragedy of success? The gauge of success, gauging your success on someone else's satisfaction. I'll read that again. What is success? This is your own capacity to judge it, gauge it. The gauge of success is your satisfaction. And what is the tragedy of success? Gauging your success through somebody else's satisfaction and not your own. Now, that's just, I love these kind of little bite-sized, they're called sutras or little bite-sized teachings, because so much is wrapped up inside of them, and unpacking them is such a fun thing to do in real time and also in your real experience. So this sounds like a simple teaching, right? What's the tragedy of success? Gauging your success by someone else's satisfaction. But scan your life. Look at how many times you've done that and how much that's happened, whether it was your parents or a partner or a coworker or someone you were trying to impress, or, that it's a constant that we're gauging our success. Now it's the social media. We gauge our success by something we think other people, some version of other people's success as per what they post on social media, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of people talk about that being debilitating for them. In terms of how much they focus on other people's success and other people's whatever, all that kind of social media nonsense. So that's a great example in the modern world, but in there's so many other examples. So part of what I'd like to do in these 5 days is really get down to the nucleus of you and you, judging you for your own satisfaction, your own success, and your gauge of that, which could be very different than everybody else's. And in fact, it is. And the only way you're ever going to actually truly experience success is if you are the one who, in a sovereign way, is gauging it and being satisfied by it or not being satisfied by it. I was watching the Michael Jordan documentary last night. I think we're getting close to the end, but and he was notorious for needing some sort of drama to happen in order for him to be able to come back and, have the win the championship, get the points in the game, prove someone wrong. I mean, it's a constant, every single episode is basically something happening where he then, if he doesn't have some sort of kind of a rub of I guess the episode I was watching last night, the coach of the other team in the finals didn't say hello to him at dinner. They were at the same restaurant and he dissed him. And Michael Jordan was like, oh, I'm going to fucking show him. And like he goes and he beats their ass. I think they were losing. And then he just goes and he beats them so hardcore. So, but he needed that. He needed that, kind of rub. So, but that's self-satisfaction. That's, successful people, they know what they need and they know how to create that for themselves. And if they're really constructive, successful people and not destructive, because they're both, in terms of societal definition of success, that external type of success. But we're talking about something much deeper here in the yogic science. It has to be all things, it has to be as within as without, when we're really talking about true fulfillment. So there's destructive successful people and there's constructive successful people. And I was watching an interview with Anna Wintour, and she's basically detailing very accurately all of the environments and the ways that she knows that she needs to construct her day and her psyche and her motivation to be able to not only be on top, but keep on top, which she's done for now 35 years in terms of her career. And it was interesting to hear her kind of story, because she came up in a time where nobody was really doing what she was doing. So she didn't have mentorship in the same way where, some people have, there's somebody above them that was doing the thing they were doing, and they got that kind of mentorship. She kind of created a new type of archetype of this kind of mogul editor-in-chief of a fashion magazine. It wasn't like that before her. She really kind of created a new space that now, of course, is inhabited because she created it. So these are the trailblazers. But she knows she details everything, her schedule, how she deals with, she's talking about management, and how she deals with her success and her time and the people she has to deal with, and what, her very kind of tight, and this is true of most people who are in a self-satisfied success experience. They know exactly what they need in order to not only get the success that makes them happy, but to maintain it. Because we have a lot of examples of people who are successful who don't know how to maintain it. So they freak out, or they, they lose everything, or, that kind of stuff, because they have a hard time maintaining the success frequency. All right. So this is what we'll be unpacking in the next 5 days. This is one of my favorite subjects because in the Aquarian age, this is a self-satisfaction. This is a fulfillment of the soul. And then that can create and will create the kind of environments and faculties and resources that allow for the things that are necessary for you to continue to deliver your mission. So that's the whole game here. And as I said over this past week with our Kundalini training, when you have resources, when you can manage your resources in an efficient and responsible way, then you can help others. When you don't have resources and you're always worried about the next, moment, the next buck, the next job, the next client, the next whatever, it's very hard to actually be able to help others. And that's just the truth of the matter. And we've lived on a planet that most people, who have some sort of spiritual frequency or practice have not necessarily had the ability or the wherewithal or even kind of the desire to resource manage. And that's one lineage. This lineage is a householder's lineage. So we're really interested in everything that has to do with living a human life and how to do it with exaltation and excellence and satisfaction and fulfillment. And that includes what we do, our work and our career and the money we make and our resources and how we move through time and space. Okay. So that's the plan for the next 5 days. I'll be working with at least 1 or 2 people. And I'm kind of into this because it's fun. So if you have something you'd like to work with me on, then we'll have you share it towards the end of the class. I'm going to tune in, then I'm going to share these, the first 2 laws of success. We'll unpack them a little bit, and then we'll do a little yoga and a meditation to activate this. Bring the palms together, please. If you're new to Kundalini Yoga, we use a sound vibration to open up certain glandular secretions and certain consciousness wavelengths so that we can really be in an open and exalted place in order to do this kind of reprogramming. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Om Namo Guru Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Inhale. And exhale. Adgunename, Jugadgunename, Satgunename, Siddhigurudevaname, Adgunename, Jugadgunename, Satgunename, Siddhigurudevaname, Adgunename, Jugadgunename, Satgunename, Siddhigurudevaname. Okay, excellent. Let's do a little breath of fire and then we'll talk about these laws of success. These are fingers into the pads of the palms. Stretch the elbows up and equal inhale and exhale through the nose. If you're pregnant, just long, deep breath, or if you're on your cycle, long, deep breath. For everyone else, nice, powerful breath. And I'll play this mantra that brings cash money to you, just in case, you don't forget about the success. You just want the cash. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har har har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har 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 har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne
Inhale
name
and
akame.
stretch the thumbs towards each other, touching the thumbs. Hold the breath, pull the mula bandha, stretch the elbows, squeeze up.
Gobinde mukande udare apare haring karing ne name akame har har
And exhale.
har. Gobinde mukande udare apare haring.
And touch the earth. Inhale.
And exhale. Okay. So, Brigitte, I love, or Birgit, I love what you say here because, they did make that movie, The Devil Wears Prada, about Anna Wintour, or loosely about her. Somebody wrote that book and they made it about it. It's my direct experience, and again, this goes back to you and you gauging your own self-satisfaction and your own success. It's my direct experience that as we're detoxing this Piscean age, I feel that powerful women have been and continue to be, and interestingly now it's actually as usual, women doing this to other women, which is that they powerful women are completely kind of held at a different standard of how they're supposed to behave in business. And I know so many women who are at the top of empires that they created with their blood, sweat, and tears. And they're judged as being bitches because, it takes a certain type of decision-making and power and self-confidence to do these types of things. And this is why, you and you are the only one who can gauge yourself in terms of success. But I've had so many experiences, and the more successful I get, the more intense it gets, that if I was a man doing the things I do, no one would question me. But because I'm a woman, it's a whole different ball of wax. Anyways, so food for thought. Okay, so here we are. This is the first secret law of success. And this is what we're doing this next 5 days. Learning is not a weakness. Learning is not a weakness. Time and space and breath of life are the living trinity of life. Every process is a moment. Every moment is a process. Learning is to gain wisdom. It gives a grip on our own discipline, and the disciple becomes the master. Master creates the legacy. Legacy lives forever. Mortal becomes immortal. Oh, yogi, life is a living chance forever. Powerful, powerful poetry. Okay, so what I want you to do is you can either write in the chat, or if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, you could write it there. But I want you to kind of just give your quick definition of your own success right now. Just write it down. Should be one sentence. You can write it in the chat if you want to share it, or you can write it down. Okay, great. These are good. Thank you. And you might want to make sure you have this, because this is what you're going to kind of gauge your next steps of success with. In the age of Aquarius, this is, the preacher, the pope, the government official, the guru, the, whatever, all these kind of versions of ways that in the age of Pisces, we've given away our power. The master teacher, or the disciple apprentice, the teacher disciple relationship is a very different relationship than some of the ways, especially in the West, that we've related to how we give away our power, our parents, all this kind of stuff. So you'll use this kind of sentence. It's a good sutra for you to gauge your own success by. Okay, number 2, if somebody is avoiding reaching out to you, you reach out. Knowing is the knowledge. If the head has gone cold and the heart has gone frozen, if hatred in somebody has eaten up the heat of life and there's no warmth coming to you, but still the body is vibrating and the breath of life is keeping it warm, reach out and melt away all the coldness through your humor and boldness so that the flower of friendship can blossom and you can enjoy the fragrance. Oh, yogi, this is knowingness. And I want to talk about this one a little bit because success is very much in relationship. It's how, so many people, their success is really determined on the relationships that they've built. In fact, almost everyone, the relationships they've built and the kind of trust and dignity and their sphere of influence through their relationships. Many people, their whole sector of work is based on just relationships, and most work is based on relationships. It's all about relationships. So this is kind of the idea of reaching out. The other part of it that I would like to kind of encourage you to do, this is your little homework piece for today, is, and I had everyone do this in business school, reach out to someone and make an ask. So if you need something and you're working on something and you need something, I think this is a really good practice in general, to reach out to someone and ask them for help, or reach out to someone and, see if they would put you on their podcast, or reach out to someone and see if they need help right now, if you're looking for a job, or know someone who, you make the first step. You reach out to your network and make an ask, or you can also reach out to someone you don't know. I mean, those are good asks as well. It's just an energetic thing. Reach out. And it's different than hustling. This idea of let everything come to you. That's kind of some of the vibrational magnetism that we talk about. That's totally absolutely a powerful part of increasing your radiant body. But there's also this kind of new age toxin that if you do that, then you don't have to meet people halfway. And that's just not true. It's really, really potent. And it also strengthens your aura and strengthens your nervous system to reach out and ask for things that you need. Okay, so that's your homework, is to reach out to someone. Maybe it is reaching out to someone who you've been, you've had a little separation from, and you want to there's some energy there that you want to clean up and get into integrity with, because that's also a move of prosperity. And they built that whole kind of landmark forum. That's basically what you do, is you get into integrity about, things. So you reach out to people and you make amends, and that's, a 12-step program stuff as well. Okay, so you could do that. You could reach out to someone and make an ask for something you need, or you think you need, or you want. You could reach out to someone for mentorship, or to take a look at something that you think they could give you some good advice. You could reach out to someone for some sort of access, or make a big ask, is what I call it. And it's really just about you strengthening your nervous system to reach out. All right. Good. So that's your homework for today. And, somebody's saying, how about not reach out to somebody who's being abusive? Yeah. I mean, that's not in the realm of what we're talking about. Don't reach out to people who you don't need to do that with, but reach out to people who you're either holding some energy with, and you need to clear it up and clean it up, or you weren't solid with your word, or some sort of thing like that. That'll give you, it's a major prosperity act to do that, and a success act to do that, because all you have is your word. Or make these asks. Okay, so that's your homework for today, and then you can share about it tomorrow when we're back. All right, let's do a little bit of yoga. These are the first 2 laws of success. And you've already worked a little bit with both of them. And I'll just read you this first law of prosperity because I think it's cool. The law of pure potentiality. Anything is possible, vast, unlimited. You must be willing to know that anything is possible. This often entails work on belief systems, negative thoughts, and the subconscious layers, which can impede the journey to prosperity. I mean, this is just so huge. Whatever can be held in your aura is possible. If you can't hold it in your aura, it becomes much more out of reach. So kind of the law of potentiality is that you start to hold the thing in your aura, even if you don't know how it's going to happen, even if you're not sure, even if you have disbelief about it, even if it's too big, it's such a hot potato, it's hard to hold. You still have to hold the thing in the aura, and that's how the impossible becomes possible. That's one of the ways. Okay. They're asking if we can put them in writing. You guys are going to get an email at the end of each day, and we'll send them to you in writing. Is that a good thing to do for you? Yes. Okay, good. I love just being on Zoom talking to myself. Is that good? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so this law of potentiality, and this is what we're going to do now in the practice, and this law of kind of learning. I mean, I can't tell you how many people. This is why with something like Visionaries Room or some of the other kind of more intensive work I do with people, I make people make really solid commitments, which is works for the most part, because it's really amazing to me how many people are unsupportable, uncoachable, they basically have a subconscious pattern where they won't listen to you and they can't hear you, and they keep on going to another person to get some sort of advice or mentorship, but they never actually let it sink in. So this number one law of success is no joke. Learning is not a weakness, it's a power. And the most successful people I've ever met are people who ask others what they're, what do you think about this? And how did it hit you? And how does that feel to you? And Yogi Bhajan was famous for this. He would ask people their advice, and he'd make them feel like, I mean, how'd this guy even make a decision without me? He would make them feel so good giving him advice. And I try to put that into practice, because I just know how powerful it is. And it's not to get so many people's opinions that then you get confused and scared and freaked out. That's a very different vibration. It's really just being open to learn something from someone, and having that kind of attitude and openness allows for you to learn something. I mean, it's just amazing how much you can learn out there. I mean, I just love it. I had a business meeting the other day with a very accomplished business person, and it was just so great to just be in their company. It wasn't anything they said, it was just the aura of their accomplishment. It's just you learn so much from that, and so you can learn something from everything if you really take that number one law of success into practice. Learning is not a weakness. In fact, it's a great strength. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's, and you have your homework now. You're going to do your ask. You're going to reach out to someone. That's the second law of prosperity, law of success. And then I read you the first law of prosperity, which is the law of pure potentiality, which we'll work on right now. Okay, come onto all fours. Let's do a little cat-cow. Inhale up and exhale down. Powerful breath. You know that something's kind of in your aura if you can imagine it, if you can wrap your energetic arms around it, if you can just see some version of it, even if it's just like the smallest little bit of it. Like maybe you don't know how, which is always the case when you're creating something. You don't really know how to do it, but you can feel the some version of the the, 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 manifestation of it. It just takes a little bit of stretch. And exhale the other way. Pull the mulabandha, I'm sorry, pull the navel to the spine. Inhale. Exhale, press back, forehead to the ground, palms together. Meditate on this gauge of success that you just created for yourself. Hold it. Scan your life for areas where you're living up to it. Just focus on your strengths for a moment. And inhale. Exhale. Now you're going to tuck the toes under and press up into triangle pose. This is called the downward facing dog in other traditions. And take a deep inhale here. Stretch the legs a little bit. Fingers are open, pressing into the ground. And then you're going to inhale, raise the right leg up behind you. This is for your aura, so you can hold more in the aura. Raise the right leg up behind you. And then we're going to do a little push-ups. So bring the forehead towards the ground and then back up. All right, we're not here for long, but we do want to get this aura stronger, which actually requires the body to also get stronger, all 10 bodies. Inhale and exhale, please.
Exhale, put both feet on the ground. Take a moment here if you need to come into child's pose or hang out in the downward facing dog for a moment. Now inhale, coming back up or bringing the left leg up. Everybody coming back up and bringing the left leg up. Again, inhale here, exhale, forehead towards the ground. Triangle push-up. Inhale and exhale, put both feet down, come into child's pose. Inhale and exhale and come all the way up and come sit easy pose. Okay. Here's the left hand, like you're gonna shake somebody's hand. Here's the right hand, and it's also facing the same direction. You're coming under and grabbing the top of it. Left hand, right hand. Right hand comes under, grab the top of the left. Inhale up, exhale down, chop. Really powerful breath, please. We got to get that breath moving. Inhale and stretch up, please. Stretch. Expand the aura, stretch, and exhale. Good. Now, you're going to take these hands, they're palm face, and you're going to inhale like you're going to clap them behind the back. That's not going to happen. Exhale like you're going to clap them in front. That doesn't happen either, but with a lot of momentum. Inhale, exhale. Powerful breath, please. Breath, these last 30 seconds, really expands the heart, expands the courage, expands the power of the circumvent force, this energy moving through your aura. Stretch. And exhale. This little kriya, because one, it moves chi really quickly, and two, it's a good workout if you expand the times a little bit. Three, it works on the aura as a body. You have to pump your muscles, just like the muscles of the physical body. You gotta do a little lifting weights for your auric body, and that's what this kriya does. Okay, all right. So now we're going to do this meditation that's called Pursuing the Cycle of Success, and then I'll ask you after the meditation to share some things on the chat if you'd like to work with me, and we'll do a little live experience. Okay, so this is how this goes. You're going to I'll read this to you. This capacity gives you the power to basically not collapse when you have skeptics or opponents. In fact, you're able to find supporters in them. It holds you steady through upsets. It makes you non-reactive, and
you attract through the greater frequency of your soul. Okay, this is the left hand. It's pointed towards the body and the elbows are down. And then the thumb comes in and you make a fist. Okay, like this. Then this is the right hand. It comes over the top of the left and the thumb seals at the top. And elbows are in and sit up tall. Elbows are in and sit up tall. Eyes are 1/10 open, so there's a little bit of a lid at the base, a little bit of light coming at the base of the lid. Roll them to the third eye, please. Sit up as tall as you can. And we're going to chant this mantra 8 times, Huddy, Hud, Huddy, Hud, Huddy, Hud. Each time we chant it, it's going to go through the chakra system, 7, and then the 8th time, it's going to go out into the aura, the 8th chakra. And then we're going to start again out into the aura, 8 recitations, and you'll put the mantra at the chakras. Okay, so take a deep inhale. Huddy, Hud, 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 Huddy, Hud. Huddy, Hud, 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 Huddy, Hud. Huddy, Hud, 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 Huddy, Hud. Huddy, Hud, 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 Huddy, Hud. Huddy, Hud, 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 Huddy, Hud,
Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud, Hari Hud. Inhale. Hold the breath. Squeeze the Mulabandha. And exhale. Now bring the hands into Yan Mudra. Focus at the third eye. Open your vision, your potentiality, your imagination. Open space for revelation, for new ideas, for mentorship, for resources. And chant.
deeply. Hold that vastness, that infinite space, that openness, receptivity. So throw some stuff if you want me to, if you want to work on something with me, throw it on the chat, and we'll pick someone and have a conversation. Okay, you have to write what you want to work on, and then we're going to choose what feels like it's relevant. I will, I think this is actually a good question, Charlotte. Where are you, Charlotte? Let's unmute you. You have to be on video so that I can see you. My team helped me out with this. Can Charlotte unmute herself?
Charlotte, I've just selected you to unmute, so you should be able to unmute yourself now. Okay, and Charlotte, please do put your video on. Charlotte is unmuted. We just need your video.
Charlotte, we're here for you. Let's go. You ready? I still don't see you, but do I hear the person, Shivapreet?
She's unmuted, but I don't hear her either.
Okay. We're moving on then. I know it's a good question Charlotte had. Charlotte, if you can, get it together, I'll talk to you about it for a second. Let's look at this. I created some. Okay, Janine Morga. This is good. This is good success stuff. Can you help me, Shivapreet?
Janine, I've just asked you to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Coming to you from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Love my Brooklynite. Dear home of mine. Okay, well, nice to meet you. Hello.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I love doing this. This is so fun. Okay, so I think this is a really important kind of concept, because I do think that we're sold a lot of kind of this idea, especially in the wellness industry, that balance is something you're even looking for. But you tell me in your own words, what is it you're working on? I'm reading it, but I want to hear you say it.
So working on trying to stay in a creative mindset and let, my personal creative energies flow without being influenced by outsiders, whether they're, family members or friends, because sometimes you want to turn to them for opinions, but they may not be as connected as you are or plugged in, and trying to, still do your, I have a corporate job, so trying to do that, plus, work on my own personal goals, and trying to still stay connected to friends and family. And how you figure, do you take the, organized route of having to take all your time and organize it? Or is it more of like going off a vibe and how you feel? So I guess for me, I'm not sure if I should be looking at balancing my time from a more strategic place. I don't know if that sounds right or wrong.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And obviously, I mean, so relevant to so many people here, which is like, okay, and Gary Vee has that thing, which of course I say, but it pisses people off because everyone's just kind of pushed to the edge of being able to handle being human, but which is, okay, if you're working from 9 to 7 or whatever, then what are you doing from 7 to 2 a.m., right? That's his that's what he asks people, people who want to create something. And that is, I mean, if you're working a corporate job or that kind of job, those are the times where you have, unless you're a morning person, those are the times you have to kind of work on these other pursuits. And then there's this idea of balancing friends and family and your social life and your health and your all this kind of stuff. What I just want to say to you, if in any way it frees you, being an entrepreneur or creating something that is of your own kind of creation, the balance, the cliche concept of balancing things is a bunch of bullshit. There is no balance. And I like to blow this out of the water because there is no balance. You're either not going to see your friends for like 5 or 6 years and your family just as much as you can, basically stand them, while you build this, especially because you have to work. And you'll see them once in a while, but I just want to kind of get you off the hook that, I mean, and if the social life is important to you, then yeah, you do have to kind of, you have to schedule it in. But any entrepreneur will tell you that they don't have any friends because at some point in the journey, you just don't, I mean, you kind of have to decide. People who work, my experience is people who work for other people can have social lives because they have weekends and they have nights off and all that kind of stuff. If you want to work for yourself or you're creating something for yourself, it's a bit of a myth. It's not really the way it goes. And that is also kind of sobering thing because then it'll help you with your kind of valuation of how do you want to. Now, I guess if you get like down the road in your creation and other people are running the thing and maybe then you have some more time, but by then you've already lost all your friends. So you have to make new friends, but that's okay. But I do want to be, honest from 7 to 8 years down the road of creating things and being really a passionate entrepreneur. I mean, who has time we just don't have time for friends, honestly. So I do think that, and people won't understand that if they're not entrepreneurs. So then you do have a little bit of a rub there. And then if it's important to you, of course you have to make time for it. So that's these are the questions. What's more important? I don't know what you look, everybody looks like they could be 30 or, 40 or I don't know how old you are, but depending on your life cycle, what's more important to you? Do you need to get this built? That's a question. How old are you? Can I ask?
I'm going to be 40 in a month.
All right. So, hanging out with your friends, what, and of course this stuff feeds us. I mean, I understand, especially if you're an extrovert, you need a little, so then you have to figure out the dose that you need to keep yourself going.
Right.
But it's a lonely road.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think you did answer it because, what the business that I'm trying to do is I read tarot cards. And I've been taking it to Zoom, and it's actually, surprisingly has been working. So the friends that I have are sort of, it's grown into sort of a client base, and my corporate job has sort of made it part of the culture at the office. And so now, how many 6 or 7 months out of COVID, I think there was sort of like a break, and, I'm starting to do it. People are starting to reach out. And so I feel like there's a real need. I just haven't, clicked the switch and like really turned it into something that really is something that is my business.
And what is it going to take for you to click that switch? Do you know?
I don't know, a boost. Can I go purchase confidence somewhere like off Amazon? I feel like, I'm worried about, the what ifs, but I think that I'm starting to learn that that's the path I have to go down, and that even if it's a failure, it's still a learning.
What in your mind would make it like a real business? I'm just curious because this is different for everybody.
I guess, I basically have a clientele. Over the past 3 years, I've really gained momentum. And I guess, I haven't made the official Instagram or made a website where somebody can go on and purchase a reading, or, things like newsletters or stuff like that to keep people engaged.
Okay. So this would be my challenge to you. Between now and the end of the year, get up a website where people can book with you. And it can be very simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be bells and whistles. And start an Instagram that is a professional Instagram. Okay. Or figure out how you want to reconfigure your personal Instagram towards this professional pursuit. But you can keep the day job. I mean, you can keep doing that. But this is just another step towards creating a more official container. And I mean, now they have these things. I think this stuff's fun. I don't know if other people do, but now they have all these courses where you can learn how to put up a really cool little Squarespace site. But if you feel like it's not that hard, but if you need to take a little course, that's like a cool thing to do. And it's a great skill set to have. And so, throw that thing up or learn how to get it up, or, trade with somebody, give them a couple readings to do it for you. But just make a goal, do it by the end of the year. That's your gift to yourself for the, it's been a crazy year. Just do that for yourself. Cause that's not going to be that hard. And you might be surprised, and you don't have to quit your day job. So you don't have to worry. Is that kind of your concern if you were to go full time doing this? Right.
And I guess my question with the work stuff, that is there, but I also am able to incorporate some of that within the culture, even with Zoom. So I guess it's more of like taking the time to put, like you said, maybe less time with friends, because a lot of times, sometimes that's what we end up doing. And I have to try to figure out boundaries of when is my time, worth some sort of energy exchange, whether it's money or whatever, that there's an exchange happening, or it's me just extending to them just because I want to help,
Well, the container helps with that. The kind of, the container of the website helps with, you want to talk to Ro, just book on my website, so that you don't, it takes a little bit of the kind of pain out of the, the going from kind of doing it as a friend to the professional, and you'll feel awkward, but whatever, it's just growth.
Yeah. I'll have to get over that.
It's just growth. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And, these are the kinds of arts that are part of the Aquarian age. So many people are now looking for support in these ways, and also are, being activated to be the kind of wisdom holders. So, and Remington has some amazing tarot kind of wisdom transmission in his Patreon and stuff. So if you are also looking to just deepen your studies.
Yeah. Great.
Who I'm talking about, Remington.
Yeah. You talk about him on the reality riffing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, great. Well, so looking forward to seeing your website. Why don't you send it over to me once it's done?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Guru Jagat at gurujagat.com. Okay.
Yeah. Holding me accountable.
Yeah. Send it over to me. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. You got a couple months. You can do it. Satnam.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's see. This is a good question. Heidi Lopsky, will you unmute for me? Shivapreet.
Hi, Heidi. We just spoke. There you go.
Oh, hi there. One thing I want to tell Janine, somebody was saying TikTok is hot for tarot. What people are like doing readings on TikTok. That's kind of cool. That's that's interesting. TikTok really lends itself to certain, now that Walmart bought it or whatever, then, I guess it's here to stay, so funny. Okay. All right. So, Heidi, you want to work with men.
Yeah, I
What?
work with men already. So I
You
do
do?
like a VIP, I do intensive VIP 3-month coaching with men. And
Okay.
I love it. It's like, I love to see the fast transformation in it. It's very satisfying. But when I feel into what I truly authentically want to do from my heart, it's that and speaking or being on YouTube and that kind of thing, which I've already done as well. But when I'm on YouTube and talking, it's more about my journey from my perspective and more from the perspective of a woman. And I feel like I have these two things that I love and they should be feeding each other, but they're opposite. Like they don't, and maybe I can find a way that they can feed each other. But a part of me wonders if I have to start speaking on YouTube and at places about men's stuff if I really want to keep going with the men's coaching. And I feel constricted and then I feel frustrated because I just want to do what I want to do, you know?
So men hire you. Why? Like, where are you getting these men?
So
Where
I'm
are
a
you
Tantra
finding these men?
I'm a Tantra facilitator. I've been doing it for a while, like 7 years. And so I guess people kind of know me. And they actually sometimes do find me from my videos. Like I do Facebook Lives every week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a bit of a library. So sometimes they find me from there, or they've been in a workshop with me. And I've got a website and it's got decent traffic. So sometimes they find me there.
Okay. And so they hire you to help them with basically opening up and balancing their sexual energy. Is that what I mean? What you're talking about with Tantra?
Yeah, it's sexual energy. I also do shadow work and relationships. So everything that's kind of been in shadow, everything that's been sort of now villainized about the masculine.
Yeah.
The space that I provide is a space where that can be transformed into their gifts.
Okay. And the image or the content that you're putting out is more kind of a diary of your own experiences, or what does that look like right this moment?
Yeah, I've kind of been feeling pulled to do a little bit more autobiographical stuff lately. I'm scared to, and I've dipped my toe a little into it, and it feels exhilarating and good. I mostly in the past, it's been about sexual energy. It's been about relationships. It's been about using Tantra in every aspect of life. So it's a really kind of practical way to integrate Tantra into everything. But it's not focused on, say, premature ejaculation or feeling like shame for your fantasies or all kinds of things that I focus on with my men. I don't really focus on in my talks.
And why don't you?
Because I've always taken the path with my lives that whatever I'm feeling is what I talk about. And I've made it really easy for myself to do the videos, because if I'm feeling like scared about something, I'll talk about fear. If I'm feeling like I want to connect with someone, I'll talk about connection. And I guess I don't have personally those same issues. I don't have the equipment to have some of those issues. So it feels like then it would be a project. I would have to sit down and choose a topic. And also the men's coaching is new. Like the way that I do it now, like the container that I use now, I only started in January. And so it is new and I'm still learning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's developing right now. Yeah.
I have like 10 books about male sexuality on my shelf.
Well, and your goal for putting content out is to grow your business. You want to grow your client base. You want to make more money. I just want to be clear about this.
Yeah, my goal, and I put this in the chat earlier, is to create a business that's very streamlined where I can really focus on my own cycles and my own self-care. So I want to work with a small number of really high-paying clients, which I am doing in my men's program. And then I want everything else to be kind of passive income, where I can record a video when I want to. Yeah. I don't want to have a whole bunch of people in my pipeline, because I find that throws my balance off.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, and how's your content? Is your content well received now? This kind of this, like, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's actually, sometimes people reach out to me and ask me for podcasts or to do a documentary. So it seems to be received well.
Okay, and it's not monetizing, basically.
Yeah, and I do it really low budget. So I know before it monetizes, I have to get the right camera equipment and
I don't think that's true.
No?
I do not think that's true. No, I do not think that's true. You know, iPhone 11 is a really good camera, and you can make really nice, clean content on it. So I don't think that's true. But I mean, it's ultimately about how you want to build your business, Heidi, because if you want the business to be kind of exclusive and to have a certain mystique, then maybe you're not putting out YouTube videos about these subject matters. If you want your business to grow the platform using the social media. So again, TikTok is a great educational platform now. And people I've seen a lot of the kind of sex coaches and tantric, you know, blah, blah, blahs doing TikTok. So just to, you know, that kind of thing is definitely happening. And people like to learn in a 60-second format. Mm-hmm. But, you just have to decide what is your brand? Is your brand a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more quiet? We're not necessarily talking about those things publicly. It's more of a private experience. Then you would kind of construct your social media and the ways that your you know, kind of social media flows to the places that people can find you. You'd construct it in a different way than if you want to become a public speak. You want to do a TED talk on you know, totally, male sexuality.
My starting point, I feel confused because I really want to start with what I love doing and what comes easily to me. And what comes easily to me is talking about things on video. That's the most bang for my buck in my effort. So I definitely want to do that for sure. And then I guess I just have to decide how I can weave that together with the men's work. Or maybe they're two separate businesses.
I mean, I don't think so. I think that ultimately when you're looking for people's trust, so that's what your brand is built on, people seeing you and feeling that you're trustworthy to do kind of deep, intimate work with. I think the camera is a great place, especially if you're comfortable with it. It's a great place to be offering, you know, content. But basically this comes down to, I mean, I don't know, like, again, if your business is working the way it is, maybe it doesn't matter. But if you want to grow your business, you have to be a little bit more adult about, I only want to do content that I want to do when I want to do it. It's like, no, you got to create things that are in alignment with building your brand. And it's like, you know, you got to show up. It's adulting, content creation, adulting. It's not just about how you feel. It's about what you're trying to put out there to build something that has a goal, that is and they're different faculties. You're describing kind of the feminine. I only want to talk about the things I want to talk about. Okay, that's great. And it's magnetic and it's working for you. But if you want to build something a little bit more in a direction, which is a more kind of, clear, single pointed focus, the more masculine kind of aspect of your consciousness, then you have to kind of make a list of the things you want to talk about, the things that people ask you the most about, and start to, tick off the list and make cool videos and talk about it naturally. And, I don't think it needs to be really crazy produced, but it needs to have captions because people need that. And sometimes especially sensitive
things like sex, people don't want to turn on the volume. They may be scrolling, you know, somewhere in their office. They don't want the volume on. So they're going to be reading captions. And yeah, you just have to kind of go about it in a more business way. Creating content is part of your business. But you don't have to do it that way. You know what I mean? But if you want to, and it feels like that's like something that's going to actually get you to where you want to be, then you know, you make a list of 100. This is what I give people in the visionaries room. Make a list of 100 subjects that you want to talk about, and then start to tick them off and make videos, and then, you know, post them and see how it goes. Put them on YouTube and make them as professionally as you can, and see what happens, and make sure that wherever they link to goes to a place that makes sense for your business. And, you know, it can be a little trial and error. And if it really doesn't feel like after you do it for a little bit, it's helping your business, or it's not going in the direction you want it to, then you can always change, but you won't know until you do it. You can always take them down too. But if you want to publicly speak about sex and male sexuality and your experience working with men and different issues that come up, then you should, you know, start now. Start to do it.
Okay.
Which I'm not getting a yes that you want to do that for whatever reason. And so if it's not a yes, then, you know, you have to think about how to kind of, then maybe the business is fine the way it is, and you will attract the people you concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I'm hesitant to adult, because I used to be a CPA, so I've had my share of adulting.
Yeah.
And I'm really loving what I do now, which is just whatever the heck I want.
Yeah.
And it has been magnetic. And so part of me loves, you know, the fact that we can create truly anything, and whatever the way that you do it and the way that someone else does it doesn't have to be the way that I do it. So I'm kind of enamored with that. Yeah, so maybe that's why I'm not feeling like hell yes. And also I just feel like mentally stuck on, like you said, the VIP brand might not be conducive to a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad, because those are the two things I want to do. So I really do want to find a way to weave them.
Well, it looks, you know, feels like you're in some business development. So you'll have to, you know, kind of massage these different concepts and see what kind of lands as being really authentic to your goals and your mission, your purpose, and how you want to kind of live your life. I mean, those are and you're tuned in enough to know whether those things are in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do think that, you know, authentic social media is very magnetic. So I agree with you. And I think if it's not authentic to you and you don't want to talk about it, then maybe it continues to be something that's more of just, you know, that it's what happens in the private sessions, or maybe it's part of a funnel, a sales funnel that you create, that they have to sign up to get some of the videos that where you're talking about some of these concepts. And that would build your newsletter.
I really like that idea.
There's a sex coach kind of lady that tagged me in something, and I was looking at her thing, and I liked the way she was talking about sex. And so I signed up for a newsletter, and she's been sending some great videos where she's talking about your like different sexual archetypes. And it's really authentic. She's kind of like, you know, she's funky and she's cool and she's fun, and it's not too salesy, but so I was kind of impressed with how she's doing it. I think the videos are really, you know, educational and definitely authentic to her.
I really like that, because the other thing that's important right now for all of us is to get our email lists up, because with the fragility of Facebook and how much longer that's going to be a feasible platform for us, getting people on our email list is so important right now, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, excited to see where it goes for you, Heidi. And thanks for working with the men. It's really important. It's a very important thing to do. So
yeah, I adore them. So
yeah, it's really it's a big and really I'm sure well received. So
Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
Thank you, Satnam. Okay, so this is all we have time for today, but I can keep going because I do love just working this way, because sometimes just one question and a little clarification can move the needle quite a bit. So we'll do more of this every day, and keep on asking your questions, and so that you can we can get to them if we can. And if you're into this and you want to go a little bit deeper with me on this is what we do in Visionaries Room. We take your pitch or your thing that you're working on, and we really drill down, and we do it in a small group, and that's kind of the vibe. So that's Visionaries Room, which happens the weekend after business school, and my team can post it here. Rama Business School starting on the full moon, October 1st. And we're going to be going into more of these concepts, and we are doing this. We'll do a mini version of this kind of pitch experience, which is it's just good to learn how to do this. Even if you're not trying to raise money or whatever, it's just good to learn how to kind of put your aura in a very directive and projective way, so that you can. If you're tweeting or if you're putting a TikTok video or YouTube video, you get your message across more effectively. And these are yogic skill sets. Okay, Satnam, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday. Bless you. I'm just going to put on a little bit of Long Time Sunshine, and you jump off whenever you need to. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for this third and fourth law of success. Need to change, and how we need to change, and what that's going to look like, and what it's going to take. Ultimately, you have to make a narrative that makes sense to you, that gives you energy, and that allows you to navigate a more and more complex time on planet Earth.